Hey there guys, welcome back to Tarot Games. Today we are continuing our comparison videos between The Sims, Inzoi and Paralives, and we're going to be focusing on building a home. So let's start off with The Sims and we'll jump right in and see if we can create them a beautiful home that I'll be able to recreate in all three games. Let's go and get Molly and David sorted. Okay guys, we're going to start by building our first house for Molly and David Smith. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out the foundations here with the build tools that we've got. So we've got our custom, which lets us do it however we kind of want this way, which is quite good. And then you have to have it all joining. So there is that option. We've also got just our free room tool, which is just one at a time. If you try and move it any which way, it'll just go like that. So, and obviously that does happen as well where you'll miss it. We've also got our room tool. So I'm gonna play about with it a little bit, build the foundation for their home, and then we'll check in from there and look at the options we've got for actually furnishing it. So let's go. Okay guys, we have the foundation built for the Smith's house. It's not perfect, but it's kind of cute. We've got a little bit of deck in here, the back's out there onto the stream or river, whatever it's called. My roofs aren't perfect. I never said I was a perfect builder. I'm just doing this so that we compare all of the houses. So if we take a little look in, we've got their hallway here, a room set up for when we have children and explore that gameplay, shower room, the bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, and a living room. So we have added some stairs on so far, so I just wanted to show you this feature, which is really handy if you just can't remember where it was that you got an object. You can just use the eyedropper to copy it, move it to where you want it to go, and place it on. With the stairs, it is a case of you can move them as long as you want wherever they'll fit. But to be honest, that's about it. It's just that way. Like, you can't have them going off. It's just a drag and pull mechanic on it. So we'll copy these stairs over. We'll copy these. One thing as well with the fence I've noticed is it's similar to the wall. So we do have placing it by drawing, which is just a case of dragging it to where you want it to go and then placing it. We have our fence enclosure, which is much like the wall enclosure option where you can drag it and make an entire room. Or we have the replace fences. So obviously we don't have a fence here, but you can see that the lines have come up. If we hover over it like that, it will put it on. Just be careful you don't lean against any of your walls or you'll wind up with that happening, which isn't what you want. So we've got those parts done. We'll add some foundation to the house as well, I think, just to get it looking a little bit more like it fits in. We're just going to keep that plain and go all the way around the house. So as we can see here as well on the platforms, this bit is left out. It's just because we've added the platform. So you can just leave it like that, but for the sake of it, we're going to add a little bit onto it just so that it doesn't look as bad. And the same around the back. Alright, so now we're going to customize their roof. Their roof is looking a bit tatty, so we'll go in and just touch that up a little there. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and do the furnishing options now and see what we want. The other houses here seem to have siding, so I think we'll go with some siding as well and just kind of keep it looking the way it should be, or the way that would fit in with the neighborhood. So we're going to go for yellow. So you do have that option as well where you can do it one at a time. If I put it onto there, we can't see it because it's in the back. I'll show you on this side. If I put it up the top here, it automatically comes through on the other side. So rather than doing it this way though, we're going to go for the by room option. It's just so much quicker and your house is pretty much done in a matter of seconds. It does not take long at all. Perfect. And we're done now. So we'll go ahead and add our windows. With the windows, it is just a case of they'll go where they go. There's not much that we can do to essentially move them. They just sit where they sit and they are the length. If you want a 3-way window, you would have to do it like that. So I'll get the windows added on. Okay, so now we've got our windows on. The house is coming together quite nicely. It looks quite cute. I think we should now go in and add some flooring. So again, with the flooring, it's kind of similar. We are going to have wood outside. You can do it square by square. You can do it floors by room. You can do ceilings by tile as well, which honestly, I think you can put the ceiling in if you really want to. It's not something I've ever really done before, if I'm completely honest. I've never used ceilings by room feature, so I'm not 100% sure what difference that makes in the gameplay, but we'll leave it just now and we'll go and we will put in our decking and our house floors. I quite like just using laminate and carpet. It sounds quite boring, but you can have a difference between wood, carpet, tile, stone, masonry, linoleum, metal, outdoor, or misc, which has things like bottom of the basement dirt, industrial high-end metal if you so wanted to, industrial low-end metal, and just dirt. So yeah, it's kind of up to you. You do have a bit of freedom in what you want to choose. There's a couple not new but slightly newer carpets that didn't actually exist when the base game came out. So there's quite a lot that you can choose from in the base game alone. So I've kept it quite basic with a laminate in the main rooms, carpet in the bedrooms, and tile in the bathrooms. Same for your walls as well. There's quite a lot of variety in here in the base game. Loads of different things that you can choose from. You get loads of different varieties of colour as well. So we'll keep it quite simple on ours so that it is easier to replicate. But we do want a splash of colour, so if we can make the indoor walls just ever so slightly different, maybe not the mint green because that is quite intense. So because I've got half walls here, if I put the paint on it, it does go on the half walls, but it will only go on this side as well. So it just keeps that room quite neatly tied in. And it also cuts off there because while they aren't full walls, they are classed as half walls. So let's go around and get everything done. So I've done the kitchen with the tiles, but obviously part of it is going to be the dining room as well. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to pick where I want the dining room to be. I think I want it down here. So we're going to move that door. We're going to pop that door there, and then we're going to use the single tool. Just go around, because if I try and do it by full room, it does the entire thing. And we don't want that. We just want the dining room to look a little bit different. Just in this corner, really. I'm happy with the tile everywhere else. It was just that corner. So let's put it along here just so it looks a bit neater. And yeah, all the other rooms I've just kept pretty simple. So let's go ahead and get some lighting in so that we can see what it's going to look like at nighttime. I think that looks quite cute at nighttime. I know I've used a lot of the same lights, but to be honest, where I grew up, every single house or every single room in the house that I grew up in had the same light. We did eventually change out the lampshades to give it a bit more uniqueness, but when we first bought the house, it had the same light in every room and spotlights in the bathrooms and kitchens, so I'm just solely going with that. So we brought the game back to daytime now. I love that feature actually, where you can just cycle through it so you can see what it's going to look like. I am a sun worshipper, so I like to make sure that my Sims house generally does get the sun. This isn't the sunniest neighbourhood, but it's fine. We can work with it. So that is our house built for now. We do have to add a mailbox because we did delete the mailbox at the start. So we've got the house built here, so I think we should do a little bit of terrain. And just put some stones or something down to just make it stand out a little bit more. So you can choose how big you want it to be. Obviously, we don't want to go for this big, because that's the whole garden. We don't want to do that. But you don't want to go that small either, because then it's barely anything there. Because we're going to go for stairs, we're going to go for the square type. We're going to adjust it up to how big we want it. And I do want it to be a little bit harsher. And then we're going to just lower that down a little bit and just, oh, That didn't work. Lower that down a little bit. And just do that. Put this back on the top of it. And then we've kind of created that sort of patchy work down there for them as their little pathway. It's not amazing, I get that, but we're going to try and decorate the house. So I think we should give them some shrubs just to move stuff around. You can press Alt and move things a little bit more free, but again, they will jump up because there's decking there. So it can be quite hard to position it exactly where you want it. It can be a bit finicky, but with time and practice, it does work. Another thing that you can do as well on your keyboard is you can actually shrink the size and adjust the size or turn them around and just have them a little bit smaller so that they maybe don't sit quite as, you know, out and as big. You can have a little bit more customization by adding it in like that. Like I say again, because they can't move completely freely, it does cause a little bit of friction, and if you do try and place them on top of other things like so, you won't be able to. Just play about with it, get it to how you want it looking. It's never going to be perfect, or if it is, you are going to spend hours trying to do it, but at least there's a little bit more there, and we can even probably add them in. Okay, so, and our back, there's not really much here, so I'm thinking some flowers just along here. We'll go for slightly bigger ones. And again, as you can tell, I'm kind of using my Alt key. We put the grid back on just to show you. It tends to stay locked on the grid, so it'll either be on the outside lines or the inside, whereas if you use Alt, you can have it sitting in the middle if you so wanted to. It just depends the positioning that you want to have for your plants, or for anything actually. Like for example here, now I have this gap, so I would need to maneuver these ever so slightly closer together. And then go back in with my Alt key. Isn't, like I say, it's not perfect each time. It does take a lot of tweaking, especially if you want it to look good. It can take hours of your time building. I mean, you know, you've only seen a couple or more, about 10-15 minutes of this. I've been building this house for 45 minutes. I'm so pernickety. It has to be perfect. So yeah, it does take a while to get it right and to get where you want to go. Once you get there, it's totally worth it. I also just want to point out, guys, I appreciate that all of the plants right now are dead and there's no leaves or flowers, and they all have sort of greenish, greyish hue to them. I do have the seasons pack installed, so my Sims are living in the very start of spring at the moment, and the plant life hasn't come back to life yet. When these ones come up, they will look a little bit more like they do in their pictures. It's just now, even that one, you know, the dull daisies, you can't see that there's any daisies on there, but there will be when it comes back. That's a mechanic I quite like in the game. It makes it feel a little bit more realistic, actually. I think for the back, I want to edit the roof a little bit, so I'm going to put in some columns. So it doesn't want to let me enter these in here. There is a cheat that you can use. So to open the cheat menu, you press your Shift, Control and C at the same time, and it will open up this bar up the top here. If you type in bb.moveObject space on and then hit enter, that will come up telling you that your move cheats is now on. And again, it is just Shift, Control and C at the same time to make that go away. And as you can see, I can place stuff freely now. So you do need to be kind of careful with that cheat because it is really good, but it does also sometimes cause a hindrance. So say I wanted to put a table down in their bedroom for whatever reason. If I do that, ignore that as well. Sometimes the decking does just come through the walls. It is what it is. But if I wanted to put that right in there, so it looks like it's coming out of the wall, it will still, like I say, sometimes show on the outside. Right now it isn't, but it can be quite glitchy. And it will just sit like that, especially when you do it with plants. Plants always seem to show through the house. Okay, so we've laid the foundation here for their house. It's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to put a little bit more terrain down here. Alright guys, we have built the foundation here. We have put our terrain down. We've put in all our windows. We've adjusted our roofs, kind of. We've put some plants down and we've built all of our rooms. So I think that is good for today. We'll focus on the furnishing side of it next time because that takes a while. That takes a long time to get everything that you want. So yeah, I think that will do us for today. I'm now going to go and try and recreate this in Paralives. So yeah, next time I'll have to upload that as a separate video because it does just take so long to do the building. And obviously Paralives is a new game and it is still in early access, so there are a couple of glitches on it that I want to make sure I can get out of the way for you guys. But that is our Sims house done first of all. So yeah, let's go and see if we can make this house Paralives. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.